Hello and welcome to another fixture of men's soccer here at Niagara 2022 Canada Summer Games at the beautiful Young's Complex here in Welland, Ontario. I'm Brian Correa, and joined with me is Zach DeWeerd. Zach, this is a very interesting game, and we were talking about it a few moments ago. Could have easily been a bronze medal worthy game.
Yeah, we were talking about that exactly. Both of these squads now fighting for 5th and 6th place, but both of these teams came in with obviously medal aspirations, as every athlete does, but truly believe that they should be fighting for a medal. Unfortunately, they fell second in their group, and with the way that the structure works, you had to be top in your group to fight for that medal. British Columbia losing their group in a heartbreaking penalty kick fashion, while Saskatchewan fell in their group. They eventually lost their group to Ontario, a tough Ontario side. They held them in check very, very well, only a 3-0 defeat, and they feel like they should have been in the medal contention, and British Columbia does as well. As we said, this probably deserves to be a medal game. We're really excited for the quality of soccer. Soccer Canada is in really good hands with the men that we watched British Columbia play yesterday. I'm really excited to see my first piece of action for Saskatchewan. I've seen bits and pieces of highlights, and there's some really great players on that Saskatchewan team as well.
Well, yeah, like you said, Zach, I am super excited as well. This is already following up some fixtures, as we had some games earlier on today. Nova Scotia just edged Prince Edward Island on penalty shootouts after it being a 1-1 draw, and Newfoundland claiming the victory over Northwest Territories 3-0. This game is for 5th place, and like we just said, this could have been a bronze medal game, so I'm expecting medal-level football.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been medal level football all tournament long. There's just been such a great sense of skill amongst the whole team. All 12 teams have shown a lot of fight and a lot of great players on all of these teams as we're set to begin. It's interesting to note for British Columbia that their whole bench is with players that started in yesterday's game. That one being, of course, against Yukon Territory. They're allowing all their players to get action, and when you have the depth of British Columbia, you can do so, and you can expect to have a really great result no matter the 11 that you put onto the pitch.
Who on that pitch for British Columbia, Zach, are you looking forward to watching?
Well, one player you really want to take a look at, and Saskatchewan surely knows of him, it's Momoitani of British Columbia. He scored a hat-trick, actually, in their group stage game against Newfoundland and Labrador. He's been a member of the Vancouver Whitecaps side since 2017, and he's 18 years old, so he's been training with them for 5 years. A really great product of Momoitani. We'll expect him to be in action. He's wearing the number 16 jersey for you.
And we'll see what British Columbia and Momoitani are capable of as we start the game and kickoff. Saskatchewan are the team in possession as of right now.
Saskatchewan played Manitoba yesterday in that game, and they scored really early.
They could score early right here with a brilliant through ball, and it squeezes in. What a goal by number 10 of Saskatchewan, Malik Darby.
That's his 5th goal of the tournament. You saw him get to the outside, and it honestly, it looked like he took one extra step. You'll see a great effort, but look the angle, and he was able to get it past the goalkeeper for British Columbia. That was Maddox Colligan he beat. I thought he took one extra step, but of course Darby knows his finishing abilities much more than I do, and what a pleasure to watch. Right away we see some action. A great team goal by Saskatchewan, gaining possession on their own half, really quick passes, sending the through ball to Darby and letting him do the work.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but didn't Saskatchewan score early on in the previous game?
I was just about to say that they scored in the first minute against Manitoba, and I don't know if it was the first or the second minute, but a very quick goal against British Columbia, and of course it worked out well for Saskatchewan yesterday.
Well, we'll be interested to see how British Columbia respond, and they're on the ball with Cameron chasing it down, but Saskatchewan knocking it out for a throw-in. Throw-in's taken quickly, but cleared out by Saskatchewan. British Columbia clear it out.
British Columbia played Yukon yesterday, and Brian and I were lucky enough to have the call for you then. What we saw a lot was British Columbia have two strikers. It was Dent, who's now on the bench, and and Cameron, James Cameron, who's going to be wearing number 9. They use them a lot. They use him almost as a target man. So look for Cameron to get touches and lay off his wingers as they make runs, and then Cameron to slip in behind. And that's one way that British Columbia really tries to exploit the defense and find those holes. So look for number 9 to get possession, quickly knock it off to his teammates, and make the runs in behind.
Here goes Saskatchewan bombing forward. There's the goal scorer with the ball at his feet. He finds a pass. Just cut short. British Columbia winning the ball back. They're looking for a run on their own. Saskatchewan cuts them off. There's Malik once again on the ball. He tries skipping past a few, but loses the ball. And back to the keeper, Colligan.
Colligan is already committed to Simon Fraser University. Excited to see more players take the university route as that ball slips by nearly to Cameron.
There's number 4 for Saskatchewan, the captain, Joshua Mallon, battling for possession. And the free kick is won by British Columbia. See Jordan Lowe step over and take it. Kean Proctor to look over it as well. Always good to have several options from the set piece.
Yeah, many teams have this with the left-footed and the right-footed option, depending on who feels more comfortable. Of course, it's nice to have both the in-swing and out-swing. They like to go in-swing, but they'll likely switch it up depending on how the defense is formed.
That was a tough tackle by number 8, Eric Anderson. Really trying there, but Saskatchewan pull through.
We've already seen it once in this game. That was, you saw number 7, Miskana Kilo, send Darby. That was what scored the goal for Saskatchewan. He looked at that time. There was number 17, Savian Estifo. Those two strikers have great pace. Look for long through balls by their midfielders. Specifically, you just saw number 7, Kilo.
And there is the man of the hour, Kilo, with the ball. Tracking back as he loses possession. British Columbia clearing it out. Keeps it in, but Saskatchewan steals the ball. And there is number 18. Zach Ahoke is marching forward. He tries to find Kilo, but comes a little short. They win the throw-in. Kilo deputizing the throw-in to Estifo. He brings it in. Ball still in possession. British Columbia with a clever turn there. Getting it out of danger and clearing it. Only goes out so far though. Great turn there by Malik. He tries to find an option. Ball's back. Kilo with the turn. Just falls short. Or does he? He still has the ball. Has a little turn. Another turn. Looks like he's losing the ball in the process, but the fight is there.
Great effort that time by Kilo, not giving up on possession. Saskatchewan still in dangerous areas.
Ball's to be whipped in. British Columbia gets the clever block there. Avoids the corner and concedes a throw-in. Small tactic, but a clever one. There's the captain. Mallon with the throw. British Columbia win it back. Cameron on the ball. Looking for options. He finds one down the wing. There's Gomez trying something. Just falls a little short. Keeper collects. Keeper calling for his defenders for a quick pass and drops the ball down. There he is with tons of space. Tries to find Darby, but just falls short. Here's Bazina trying to do something with the ball on the wing there. He crosses it in. Does it find a head? It doesn't. Saskatchewan clears well.
Huge defensive effort. That was Momatani with the cross. He was looking for Jordan Lowe, but a really great defensive effort, sound defensive effort by Saskatchewan.
There's Gomez whipping it in. It's a looping ball. The keeper just collects it. Those balls can be sometimes hard to read, Zach.
Well, McGilvery, it looked like he was committing to the ball, and then he let it go, and it went right to the foot of Momateni. Luckily, did not get much power on it. If you're a goalkeeper, you either got to go 100% or get back and prepare for a save. But McGilvery was in the middle, and he was fortunate that the ball found right to his feet.
We might have to prepare to make another save momentarily as British Columbia storm forward with the ball. Tries to find a clever pass, but
Looked like Proctor was trying to go to Camera, but Camera elected to let it go to Brezina.
there's Sebastian Gomez with the ball. Tries to whip it in. He finds him! And it's an easy tap in. He looks back at the linesman. And it's a goal. He stayed on side with the clever fake shot to fake off the goalie. And an easy tap in.
You know, it doesn't always happen that when the announcers say, look out for this player, they score in the game. But that was Momateni scoring. He scored 3 against Newfoundland and Labrador. It's a beautiful ball by Jordan Lowe. Saskatchewan looked to be playing almost an offside trap deep in their own end. It's a risky game to play if you have a player like Momateni who is able to time his run to perfection. A great touch to control, get it past the outstretched arms of McGilvery. And just like that, in the 9th minute, it's a tie game 1-1.
Well, we're off to a very fast start, and I could not be happier. 1 goal apiece, 2 goals in total. And there's the man again. Skipping through 1, skipping through 2. Can he get a cross in? He does, but just falls short.
Momateni saying my bad to his teammates, but a couple of really nice moves. He probably would have liked to get the cross a step earlier, but Saskatchewan doing a really great job of containing him at the end. He got by a couple of the players, but that defensive line once again able to control and force Momateni to make a really nice play, which he was not able to do that time.
Seems like British Columbia are having the favorable possession in this spell, and a header goes just wide.
Yeah, James Cameron probably would have wanted to have that one back. He was unmarked right in the penalty area. It's a really dangerous cross by Brezina.
Keeper's having a little bit of trouble with this distribution as British Columbia are quick to pounce on these goal kick. Good dummy ball. Momateni whips it in. The shot opens up, and it's a good save by McGillivray. Those shots are always kind of difficult to save because although it is straight at him, there's bodies all over him, in front of him, screening him. He can't see. How difficult is that?
Well, he had a couple of bodies right in front of him, and you said that there were a couple of white jerseys, but if I was Anderson, I would have liked to place it a little more than I would have in that opportunity. It looked like he had a little bit more space. He could have touched towards his left. Both of those defenders braced for the shot. If he could have faked the shot, maybe he could have had some space and slotted into the corner, but of course, in hindsight, it's 2020. It was another great opportunity by Anderson, but expect for him to remember that as the defenders dove in early, and of an IQ of Anderson, I expect him to make more of his next opportunity.
Here is Sebastian Gomez on the ball. He's the only 2005 born player who was actually scouted by the Vancouver Whitecaps, playing at their academy. Super impressive stuff by the youngster. Let's see what he's capable of here. Ball is stolen by Saskatchewan. They launch a ball forward. Malik Darby was chasing onto that, but just falls short. British Columbia launches the ball forward. Here's Momateni once again, being a constant threat on that right wing.
Yeah, I expect that all game long. If Momateni will have possession, James Cameron will be looking for it every single time. He's making those runs. You'll see it on your screen. And a great play that time by Saskatchewan, their defensive line. But If he can find Cameron's feet, he was just a bit behind. But continue to see that Momitani and Cameron connection all game long for British Columbia.
Here's Kieran Proctor whipping it in. A little bit of a low cross. Saskatchewan clears it. Another whip in, and just not the greatest shot from defense there. That was a miss hit by the captain, Consiglio. Ball's played quickly. Ball's brought forward. The pressing is pretty impressive by British Columbia, but they find a way out. Can Malik win the ball from Gomez? The answer is no. It is a throw-in, though, for Saskatchewan. Jerry Chen throws it in. Back to Chen. He tries to go through some players, but fails in his attempt. There's him with the ball again. Jerry Chen getting a little bit of meatiness with those tackles, but the game carries on. Here's the pass into the box. Just falls short.
Yeah, Brzezina, I don't think expected Anderson to put it perfectly on his foot. It was a great run by Anderson.
British Columbia are starting to swarm Saskatchewan a little bit. It doesn't seem like Saskatchewan has an out ball at the moment. But Darby does really well there in his turn. He's marching forward. Good heel chop. Finds the pass. Just cut a little short, and Gomez is back on the ball. Tackle comes his way, but he avoids it. There's Momitani. He's running forward. Tries to find the pass out wide, but it gets cut out. Here's Malin, the captain. Launches the ball forward. But Consiglio reads that. Turns brilliantly. He's still on the ball. He passes it forward. Momitani's back on the ball, but he's offside.
Yeah, that was Brzezina in the offside position. If he had left it for Momitani, who might have been able to get there, it would have been an onside position just in front of the defensive lines. It was a really nice attack and well done by Consiglio to read that play, but if it was left for Momitani, who knows what would have happened, but Brzezina touches it and the flag goes up.
Let me ask you, Zach, you've played some college ball. In the situations where you see a particular opponent on the other team doing extremely well, just hot, what does the team do in response?
Well, I mean, you always gotta be aware of it, but you play your own game. You don't really focus on the other team as much. For Saskatchewan, I think they're totally fine where they are right now. They're in a 1-1 game, and they know that their strikers are fast, and it just takes one counterattack for them to regain the lead. If I'm Saskatchewan, I'm perfectly happy with how this game is going so far. You know, you have Darby, you have Kilo up as well. You have speedsters who are, with one passage of play, can really turn this game upside down.
The poor pass from Gomez is cut out, but British Columbia win the ball back. Tugboat takes it in. Saskatchewan shields the ball well, but British Columbia makes a clever interception. That was Eric Anderson winning the ball. Here's Consiglio now running down the wing, trying to find a pass, and does. Cameron trying his best to lunge at that ball, but just falls short. Here's Ladino, spraying it out wide. Darby, the goal scorer, on the wing. Trying his best to go through the defender, but gets clattered into. British Columbia wins back the ball. Momitani's on it now. Running at defenders. He finds the ball out wide. But just cut out by Saskatchewan. They clear it. And here's the captain, Malin, on the ball, trying to find something, but loses it. The ball goes out of play. It's British Columbia throwing. Saskatchewan win the ball back with ease. Captain with some time. Tries to find Kilo, but loses it. But Kilo, cleverly with the turn, wins the ball back. And the ball is for Saskatchewan. As the captain, Joshua Mallon, stands over the free kick. Tries to find somebody, but falls a little short. They win the throw-in, though. Mallon launches it forward. Doesn't unfortunately find anybody, though, and British Columbia will let the ball roll out of play. Here is the captain of BC, Consiglio, throwing it in. Cameron trying to get the ball there, just falls a little short. British Columbia winning the free kick. Passes it quickly. Momotani was trying to get onto that, but the ball just rolled out of play. Keela was doing well dribbling there, and it looks like he landed a little awkwardly on his side there, holding his rib cage. Speaking of her, it looks like the captain of Saskatchewan, Joshua Mallon, is down. Zach, talk to me. How big of a detriment is it when you're playing and the captain gets injured?
It looks to be just a cram. Nothing too bad for Mylon. We've seen it in the game before this where the captain was subbed off. The whole team are leaders on their team. I mean, we're on Team Saskatchewan, but all these teams are on their club team, and they're leaders on their club team. So I don't really think that the captain armband really signifies, oh, this guy's our leader. He's our number one guy. Mylon obviously is a leader amongst. He's a vocal player of this team, but I don't think that him going off would be heads down for Saskatchewan by any means. It looks to be a cramp to me. As you can see, the athletic trainer helping him out. But we've talked about it time and time again. This is a long tournament. This is the fourth game for these men in 5 days. It's a lot of soccer. You're going to be fatigued. You're going to be banged up. And it's been a hot one here. We've had days where it felt like 40 degrees. These men are it's tough in these conditions, and the turf doesn't make it any easier. We've seen some players go down with knee and ankle injuries as well. It's not easy playing this many soccer games in this few days. So credit to all these men in these conditions. It's been really great soccer, but unfortunately injuries are part of the game, as much as I hate to say it.
And you kind of hate to talk about it, but it looks like from a lot of what people say who play on turf, it seems like people are prone to injuries when specifically playing on turf.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not as easy on the joint. It's not as forgiving. A quick sub, as we see from British Columbia, or from Saskatchewan, Arias is taken off. A bit of a quicker sub for Saskatchewan than they may have wanted to. But yeah, back to your point, the turf is a little more, a little harder, of course, underneath concrete, but players enjoy because it's more consistent with the play. Of course, with grass, you just never know. There can be patches of grass, and who knows. But as a player, I always preferred the turf. But that's just my point of view. I know a lot of people prefer playing on grass.
Here is Malik Darby with the throw-in. Looking a little confused as he doesn't have a lot of options to output. But he regains possession. See what he can do from here. Well, not much apparently. As British Columbia win the free kick.
It's offside. He trying to go back towards the goal, but British Columbia doing a really great job of holding their line.
Here's Eric Anderson pushing the needle, going forward for British Columbia. Going to be a free kick for Saskatchewan with Simon Funk to take. Ball's played quickly. Ball's cut out. Momotani on the ball. Good, clever little turn there, and wins the foul. Ball played quickly by Tugwell. Here's Consiglio whipping it in. Dangerous ball in the box. Would take the volley. He opts not to.
Well, I think he wanted to. It hit his shin before he could actually make contact with the ball. He had a lot of room. I'm curious to see how much communication was there, because at first it looked like it was almost a wasted ball, but it went right on the foot of Proctor, who it looked like he got a shin and hit the ball before his cleat could.
There's Malik Darby playing it cleverly on the touchline, trying to fake out Gomez. But Gomez is quick to it. Tries to pass him, but wins a throw-in. Darby throws it in. Jerry Chen passes it backwards. Here's Weeb on the ball. Gives it to Darby. Chen back to Chen. He loses temporary possession of the ball, but he regains it. Tries to find the pass, but it's cut out by British Columbia. Consiglio, smart header. Cameron dinks it over to Brzezina. Finds a clever ball there to Cameron. Oh, and what's the ref saying? Penalty. Penalty to British Columbia after a clumsy challenge on Cameron there. Completely unnecessary, if you ask me.
Yeah, it looks like they both tripped, and it's just unlucky. It looks like the legs of Johnston just got tangled up with Cameron. It's a penalty. It's unfortunate, but a clear scoring opportunity for British Columbia taken away from the foul by Johnston. It's tough. It's nothing that Johnston could have done. He just got tripped up with Cameron and took away an opportunity.
Well, the man who was brought down is the one who's trying to convert. James Cameron steps over it. Steps up. Good penalty. Right down the middle for James Cameron. It's 2-1, British Columbia.
Yeah, I was just about to make a comment beforehand that British Columbia's doing a really, really great job of getting towards the outside. As you see that penalty by Cameron right down the middle sent the Saskatchewan goalkeeper McGilvery the wrong way. But British Columbia's doing a really great job of going towards the outside and bringing the ball in. It's looking like that's what they were hoping to do before Cameron was brought down. Saskatchewan is trying to do the through balls, and maybe it's time to use the wings a little bit more. They haven't used the width of the field as much as British Columbia has, and it's been clear to see, and obviously British Columbia with the advantage now.
There's Jerry Chen trying to win the ball from his position at fullback. Here's Brzezina, trying to find a clever ball to Cameron, tries to feed him, but just falls a little short there. Here's the captain. Just cut out there. Consiglio on the ball. Here's Tugwell. Passes it to Ty Pound. A quick couple passes here. Just trying to hold on to possession.
Well, that's the game that British Columbia love to play. They love to work the ball around, to get everybody a feel of the ball, and then they'll either go long, as you see a great touch by Cameron.
Here's Cameron. Is he onside?
He unfortunately was not, but British Columbia do a really great job of passing it around the back and then getting the middle involved, and then they push it wide. You see sometimes they will find that long ball, that ball to Cameron, the target man, if you will. But we've seen Momotani get very involved, Keon Proctor, and then Gomez on the left wing as well. And I really want to see more of that from Saskatchewan. They haven't got their wings as involved. I haven't heard enough, I think, of Estifo from the target man perspective. We've seen Darby in his skill, but I want to see more from Estifo and the rest of the Saskatchewan attack.
And you made this comment earlier, Zach. I wish they would hug the touchline a bit more. We see how tricky Darby and Kilo can both be on those wings, so they got to utilize it. But here is British Columbia with a chance. He holds onto the ball well. James Cameron. He makes a pass backwards. Takes a shot, but just flies a bit too wide. That was Jordan Lowe.
I really thought James Cameron was going to hit that first time, but he elected to cut it back, and in the end it was the wrong decision, as it Was a chance that time by Jordan Lowe, well out. But Saskatchewan did a really great job. They gave up that through ball. It looked to be Cameron in. But Saskatchewan did a really great job of getting back, getting bodies in front of the ball, and eventually there was nowhere to go for Lowe.
Here is Saskatchewan on the ball. Here's Kilo on the wing. Loses possession, but wins the throw. Deputizes the throw to his captain. Here's Josh Mallon. He gives it to number 11, Weeb. Cameron does really well there to hold up the ball and wins a free kick in the process. Tugwell plays it quickly. He puts that out wide to Proctor, who whips it in. Saskatchewan just gets enough to concede a corner.
Saskatchewan gave way too much time to Keon Proctor. He was in a really dangerous area, and he waited actually for a couple of his red jerseys to go into the box. Saskatchewan has to charge that much quicker. As Keon Proctor, with the skill he has and the ability to find heads, if he has continued to have that much space, it could go from bad to worse for Saskatchewan.
Oh, here he is, the man of the hour, Keon Proctor, playing it short. Whips it in, but players got tangled in front of each other. Both wanted the same thing there, but just fell short.
Yeah, it looked like Anderson wanted Lowe to dummy. Lowe was hoping that he'd get revenge on his other attempt that went well high.
Gomez to throw, British Columbia. And he turns. With a bit of space, he finds a pass. He finds Cameron. Cameron dribbles out of that cleverly. Here's Proctor. He whips it in once again. Back door. They're calling for a handball, but
I think it would have been if Momotani still had possession, but referee would have played advantage in this sense, and Saskatchewan was able to get it unscathed.
Here's Consiglio throwing it in. Back to Tugwell. Finds a player out wide. Launches it forward. There's Cameron once again. Does he remain on side? He does. And a corner is given to British Columbia.
Really aggressive goalkeeping by McGilvery. Cameron feels like he was fouled on the play. But McGilvery eventually actually didn't miss it. It looked like he went more for Cameron. Cameron was not able to get nearly enough power, as he needed a head effort from the 18-yard box to beat McGilvery, was out of his goal. Well done again by Saskatchewan, supporting their goalkeeper even with him outside of the net, able to get bodies in front.
The ball just falls a bit wide. The defender takes care of it, and Saskatchewan concedes another corner. Steps Keon Proctor for British Columbia. Looks like he might whip it in this time. And he does. Does a find ahead. Finding several, and Saskatchewan do just enough to clear it. Here is Kilo on the break. He's running. He finds a pass. Sebastian Gomez is on him though. Wins that tackle. But it's not enough. Kilo's still on the... Darby's still on the ball.
Really nice play that time by Gomez. Gomez obviously not the biggest defender, but those outside backs are generally the hardest working players on the team.
We saw that in clear display, Zach. He really went for that ball, did everything he possibly could, lunging at it just to grab it back.
And Istifo, you just saw on your screen of Saskatchewan, he does exactly what you want to do in those wide positions. Cut it back, but unfortunately no white jerseys.
Here's James Cameron doing exactly what striker's supposed to do. Makes that great run for that pass and tries to whip it in, but falls short once again. Logan
Johnston likely saved a goal, as Momotani was right there, as you see number 16 on your screen. He was ready to tap that in, but a brilliant headed effort to clear his lines. Logan Johnston likely gets a couple of high fives from teammates and his goalkeeper McGilvery.
Proctor plays it short, gets the ball back and whips it in. Tries to find a header, but McGilvery is there to grab.
Yeah, Ty Pound tried to flick it on towards his teammates, the center back, as quickly the counterattack by Saskatchewan.
Here's Darby. He's... just like that, Zach, Darby was one-on-one with the defender, but it just fell short, and British Columbia win the goal kick.
Well, I talked more about Saskatchewan, about how I want to see them get more wide, as you see British Columbia do. But more and more as I'm watching this game, it looks like Saskatchewan is very happy with just allowing Darby to sit on that last defender and feed him long. They're more than happy with sending counterattacks, and that's how they're going to be able to punish these BC lines.
Here's Momotani on the ball now. He's dribbling past a couple, loses the ball. Saskatchewan win it back. Momotani back with the ball. He finds Consiglio out wide. He whips it in, ground ball, finds nobody. Saskatchewan win the ball back. Foul given to Saskatchewan. There's the captain once again, rubbing that leg. You got a feel for him, Zach. Like you said, plenty of games have been played here on this turf. He must be feeling at least something.
Yeah, Josh Malin's certainly feeling the effects of this game. A couple of hard tackles on him, and obviously the week as well. I'm curious to see if Saskatchewan elects to make a substitution at half. They've already made one, and you're only allowed 5 stoppages of play due to substitutions.
Here is Anderson storming forward, tries to find a ball, but falls a little short. And McGilvray collects. He gives the ball to Simon Funk. And Johnson was the one to clean up there, but British Columbia had the ball back until Saskatchewan steal it. Malik Darby's trying some skills, but Consiglio says no and puts it out of play.
Consiglio, one of the members of Mountain United FC. They are part of the BCSPL, the British Columbia Soccer Premier League, that has a number of really, really great programs. And pretty much everybody on this team plays for the BCSPL, as well as a number of Yukon players, just really well traveled, and a really great developmental league for these youth players.
And what a name for a team, by the way, Mountain United.
Mountain United, yeah. A number of players also play for Coastal FC, another really great program in the BCSPL.
Here's Anderson on the ball. He tries to find the wing, but just falls a little short. There was Darby trying to find a pass, but he also misplaces it. Momotani chasing that ball. But Johnson is quick to it. He finds the captain, who brings it forward, and a really clever dribble by number 17 is Stifo, but British Columbia read that. They have the ball back. It's to the keeper, and he plays it to Ty Pound. Ball's being moved forward. Anderson whacks it to the middle, trying to find Proctor, excuse me, but just falls a little short. There is Cameron stealing the ball and giving Saskatchewan the throw-in. Interestingly enough about Chen, he's actually a fullback, but in his league where he played at back home, he was a top scorer.
Yeah, there's a couple of players. Obviously, instantly coming to mind is Alphonso Davies, who's a fullback for Bayern Munich, but one of Canada's top scorers in the qualifying round for the men's team. But yeah, the speed obviously on full display by Chen, and when you have that speed, you're bound to get opportunities, and that's allowed him to be one of the top scorers for his league.
And one thing that's been really exciting about this tournament is the talent I've seen from the fullbacks position specifically. Like Gomez, for example, playing for British Columbia. He has been everywhere, and there he is right now marking Darby. Darby passes him, though. Can he get the finish? He can't. There's a partially blocked shot by Ty Pound, and the keeper collects.
Yeah, Ty Pound of Coastal FC, a really, really nice play, potentially a goal-scoring play, as Darby had some space in front of him.
There's Momotani, though, with the turn, and he tries to find the pass. Saskatchewan cuts that out. It's back to McGilvray. He opts to pass to his center back. Now the ball's with Anderson. He passes it backwards. Seems to be a fair amount of space for Saskatchewan in the middle of the park. So they're just trying to find some passes, but British Columbia are clever to it. Saskatchewan regain possession. Here is Kilo on the ball. Born in Ethiopia. There's Chen on the wing. Dribbles past him well. Kilo trying to win it, but Gomez shuts him down. Or excuse me, that was Malik Darby, who seems to be down in some pain at the moment.
Yeah, Gomez probably arguing that he got a lot of the ball, which is absolutely correct. It looks like he lunged towards, got the ball, and just a little late. That was Darby. My guess is it's going to be a throw, and it doesn't look to be a foul.
Yeah, it just looks like Darby was kind of colliding with Gomez after he stole the ball, and that's kind of always the worst. When you run into somebody, you don't even win the free kick. You just sit there in pain.
Yeah, just it's a knee-on-knee collision. It looks like Darby will be okay to continue in this game, but we've mentioned before the heat on full effect here in Welland, Ontario. Feels close to 32 degrees. With the humidity, it's a hot one here, and the players, as you can see, giving each other water. They need it. It is warm here in Ontario.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, Zach. I'm warm just doing commentary. I can't imagine what those players are going through right now.
Yeah, and the turf field obviously doesn't make it any easier. The sun reflects off of like the little black pellets. I think they have a name. I'm not sure what it is, but those black pellets reflect the sun. It's warm. I mean, I was with the rugby sevens before this, and I played at Brock University. And before every game, they would actually have sprinklers watering the field. I guess there's regulations with these fields of what temperature it has to be, and they were watering it because there were days where it was feeling like 40 degrees with the humidity. So the field's hot, the day's hot, the sun is just beaming down on these players, and it's the last day of the tournament for these men, and obviously they want to end out with the win. And as you can see, the Saskatchewan captain, Mylan, still in play. He's been banged up, as many of his players. It looks like Darby's able to continue as well, which is great. And the quality of soccer in this game has just been outstanding.
Although it always does kind of stink to see some players get injured, there's something I love about the collisions of the game. You know, soccer is a physical sport, so I love seeing that in full display. There's Momotani, who just loses the possession, and Brzezina chases it down, but Saskatchewan win it back. Saskatchewan now driving the ball from defense. There's Chen trying to find Darby, but just falls short. It's a throw-in for British Columbia. Gomez is the one to pass. Anderson tries to win the ball there, just falls short. Darby and Chen. Anderson to Proctor. Ball's going a bit too fast there.
Well, Proctor issuing to Anderson. He wants the ball inside. He wants to make the long run down the width. He got the ball one pass too early. He wanted somebody else to get it and then give it to Proctor.
There is James Cameron making a clever run on the outside. He's trying to find an option, find Anderson. Proctor. Back to Anderson. Wearing the Stephen Gerrard number 8. You'd love to see it. There's Momotani. Trying to dribble past Kilo. Not exactly successful. Looking for options. Kilo goes for the tackle and fails. And Saskatchewan. Oh, my apologies. I thought it went out for a corner, but they kept it in, and it's a throw-in for British Columbia.
Yeah, we're approaching the ends of half number 1, likely the last attack of the game, or the half, excuse me. It's been just such an exciting half of soccer that BC lead 2-1.
I think some British Columbia fans might have had their heart in their mouth for a second as Gomez was passing back to his keeper, but the ball was just a little light. And that concludes the first half of men's soccer action at the Niagara 2022 Canada Games. This is for the 5th place position. The game is currently 2-1. British Columbia are leading thanks to a penalty from James Cameron. And we'll see how the second half unfolds in 15. We'll be right back.
Not for the medal that these men wanted, but 5th place in amongst 12 of some of the top soccer players of this age group is a really, really great result. And British Columbia and Saskatchewan, two really evenly matched teams. We saw British Columbia maybe with the edge in possession, but Saskatchewan showed that they have the quickness and they have the capability of getting right back into this game.
Will Saskatchewan kick us off for another half of soccer here at the Young's Complex in Welland, Ontario. There is also another game being taken place right now. Yukon is taking on Manitoba, and Yukon is leading 3-0. If you want to watch that game, you can go on the Niagara 2022 Canada Summer Games website. Saskatchewan clears the ball. And there's Kilo, restoring possession for the team. There's some time in the back. But the play is spilled. Anderson tries to dink one over. Mallon tries to dink one in. Or sorry. The substitute, Coltupin.
Coltupin was the hero for British Columbia yesterday. He got a headed effort in the 74th minute to beat Yukon 1-0 in a really tightly contested game. We mentioned earlier that every substitute for British Columbia in this game started in the game yesterday.
I honestly think a very interesting matchup would have been Yukon versus Saskatchewan, because they really put British Columbia to the sword yesterday and only just fell short by the one goal, as you mentioned.
Yeah, very well could have easily been Yukon in this 5th place game. They played a really great game against British Columbia. Again, in that game, you could have given the possession edge to BC, but BC is happy to have possession. We've seen them, what we wanted to do, what they want to do is get the ball to the outside. We've seen them doing a lot more successfully in this game than they did against Yukon. Saskatchewan's giving them the outside, and it's a dangerous game to play against British Columbia with the speed that they have in that fullback position, and then they have so many players going in for the runs.
There was Brezina trying the shot there, but not enough power. And McGillivray easily collects. He passes it to his defender. Ball being passed around in the back here. Just getting a little feel for the ball, giving the ball to everybody, getting a feel for the second half. And there's Kilo launching the ball forward. Two players run into each other, but number 17 for Saskatchewan, Estifo, claims the ball.
Well, Malik Darby was the striker. He's his goal scorer for Saskatchewan. He's now playing in a central midfield role. He was a striker, like a target man beforehand, so a bit of a formation change now by Saskatchewan. Maybe trying to get Darby a little more involved in the play. His skill was certainly on display at the wing target position, but now he's playing more of a central midfielding role.
And you know what? I think that is potentially the right call for Saskatchewan. Kind of seeing the way he plays his game, he's more of a tricky player when he gets the ball and can find a good pass. I don't think the target man role necessarily fits his style of play. So we'll see how that tactic takes impact on the second half. British Columbia steals the ball. Another ball lobbed in. Brezina was hoping to get his body to that, but unfortunately just falls short. There's Chen passing it to Estifo. Passes one defender. Makes a pass. Here's Kilo on his own on the wing. He tries to pass the defender there, and Proctor, but just gets clattered down.
Yeah, Kilo probably thought that he should have gotten a foul, but it looks like they were both on each other. The referee made the correct call to let things play.
Ball falls to Johnston, who decides to pass it back to his keeper. One thing that's very impressive to me about this tournament so far is the teams who are chasing the game, the teams who need that goal, don't really appear to be in any sense of panic. The possession from Saskatchewan, in their own half especially, has been very impressive.
Well, they don't need to score a goal this minute, right? So they can have that composure, and we were talking about that in the game beforehand with Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia down a goal at one point. We talked about composure, and they ended up scoring in the 65th minute. So it's going to be the same with Saskatchewan. They have the game breakers on their team. There's no need to be in a rush when you're in the 43rd minute of an 80-minute game.
Here's the captain standing over the ball. Joshua Mallon for Saskatchewan. He's a decent distance away, but he can whip something decent into the box. Let's see what he's made of. Doesn't exactly appear like Saskatchewan have that big body in the box, but BC collects regardless. Tries to find Anderson, but just falls a little bit short. British Columbia with the ball once again. There's Ty Pound. Whacked out of play. Anderson tries to think over the top, but that's just too much to chase for number 9, James Cameron. Going for Saskatchewan, and Kilo wins the ball. Jerry Chen fighting for it, and James Cameron wins it. He turns cleverly, whacks the ball forward, but finds a Saskatchewan player. And here's the fullback at space. He finds Aiden Weeb, but unfortunately loses the ball. Ty Pound grabbed it for the free kick, and British Columbia moved fast with it. Momotani trying to get his foot to the ball, but it's just not there. He really lunged for it, but couldn't grab it. Here's Saskatchewan on the attack. Here's Chen. Whips the ball over the top for Darby to chase. The keeper collects, wise to it. Ball is lobbed forward. And Brezina collects. He'll hold up the ball out the wing. Does well there, even though a bit of contact. Tries to get the 1-2 with Momotani, but I don't think both of them were in the same headspace.
No, I think Brezina was hoping Momotani made that run, and Momotani was thinking that Brezina was cut in, and that's what they've been doing all game, is having him cut in towards the middle. So I don't blame Momotani, but I would have liked that ball towards the touchline, whipped in towards the box. Like we've mentioned time and time again, the red shirts are charging towards that penalty area. If you can get the ball to that touchline and cut it back, you're going to cause havoc, and that's how goals are scored. We've seen tons of goals this tournament scored 6 yards from the box. So continue with your pressure. If you're British Columbia, get towards the touchline and cut that towards that penalty spot.
Here is the substitute Tinmouth, who just had a little bit of the ball. Gomez crosses it in. He takes a great... Brezina took a good touch, but he just lost track of the ball. Here's Momotani now, taking the shot and just going wide.
Yeah, just too many white shirts in front of Momotani. Had to bend it around a couple and just hit the outside of the crossbar.
Here's Saskatchewan now, just passing it around the back. Tried finding a white shirt, but ends up finding a red one. Anderson passes it to Gomez. Gomez thinks the ball over the top. Saskatchewan reads that. Darby wins possession. Anderson with the clever tackle, tries going for it, gets megged in the process, but wins the ball back like a warrior. Ball sprayed to the wing, and here's Momotani, the goal scorer, the threat, whips it in, but is blocked by Saskatchewan. Momotani's fighting for it though.
Love the pressure by Momotani. It looked like a couple of his teammates got in his way that time, but it was a first touch hit by Momotani, blocked, and he kept on it. So well done. And Momotani's been a really great player in this game. Of course, he scored the first goal to knock the game up at 1.
And just now, a really good forward run by Chen, but he just caught a little too much of the British Columbia player, wins the foul. Mound plays it. It's whipped in, but to nobody. Cleared by British Columbia. Midfield in possession. Passes it to Darby. Good outside the foot attempt. But British Columbia read that. Momotani with the ball now. Clever turn. Sends the captain the other way. Ball goes out of play. And number 4 for British Columbia, Cole Tupin, is going to take the throw. And we see a substitution now. Going to be a substitution for both teams. As we see number 11 for Saskatchewan, Aiden Weeb, come off for Almula. And for British Columbia, a substitution.
Yeah, Momotani is getting taken off for Hutchinson, as you see. And Momotani certainly did his work in this game, scoring that goal for British Columbia. But I really liked Hutchinson's play yesterday. A similar player to Momotani. He's going to use the width of the field and cut those balls back. So look for that as BC continue to play their game and keep Saskatchewan in their own end. They've had some chances and just have not been able to convert.
And I think that is a very clever tactic by British Columbia. You bring on a player who's similar but fresh. So he'll really run at those defenders, and we'll see if those defenders can keep on top. Here is a substitute now on the ball. Loses out to Simon Funk. Here he is now. Hutchinson whips it in. Headed out. Good touch by Anderson. He brings it out wide. There's no options. The pass is back. Gomez now. Takes a little touch backwards. Trying to overcome Saskatchewan on this flank here to whip one in, and they do, but just falls a little short. There's number 4 for British Columbia winning the ball back. That's Cole Tupin.
Hutchinson elected to go to Tupin. He was pretty set on that idea before he even got the ball. He could have went in towards the middle and maybe got a shot off. Unfortunately, got hit down by the defenders. It looked like it was Funk who hit that. Really nice play.
Here's Kilo now on the ball, who just misses out on possession. Darby takes a throw and passes it right back to him. But doesn't seem like they were in the same wavelength there. Ball goes out. British Columbia wins it back. There's Tugwell passing it to Ty Pound. Back to Gomez. Gomez actually the only 2005 born player to be playing for his university, who just got a scholarship. Here's the captain for Saskatchewan running with the ball forward. And Yetta Hutchinson just bullies him to the floor. No foul. And here is Brezina with the shot, but straight at the keeper.
Well, the goal is 24 feet wide, but we've seen a number of times that they find the 2 feet that the goalkeeper is standing in. Once again by Brezina. He had room just to get your head up and find those corners, as He had a great scoring opportunity, but it's going to be another easy save, that time by Saskatchewan's goalkeeper McGilvery.
And here is Saskatchewan now with the ball, but they just miss out. British Columbia just kind of seem to have all the answers for Saskatchewan's attack right now. They've really been grabbing this game by the scruff of the neck and holding on to possession.
Yeah, but Saskatchewan's game is the counterattack. They use their speed, and I've mentioned it when they were down 2-1 earlier in the first half about how they're very content with how things are going right now. If they can get a couple of opportunities, they're going to send the likes of Kilo, the likes of Darby, Istifo as well. They have a lot of speed and a lot of creativity up front, and if they can just get one attacking opportunity, they're going to be able to capitalize on that. So a 1-goal lead in this game is one that British Columbia knows is likely not going to be enough. Saskatchewan are due for some attacking plays, so that's why you got to always charge the net, and that miss by Brzezina could be costly.
Here is the free kick for British Columbia. Number 4, Colty Penn, standing over it. Opts to take the shot, and it's well over the bar. Zach, you used to play college ball a little bit. Let me ask you this question. Whenever someone had a free kick from far away and they just opted to take the shot, did that ever frustrate you?
No, because we had really good free kick takers. So if they wanted it, it was probably for a good reason. And Tinmouth was taking the free kick, and he's been a standout player. So, I mean, nobody has 100% free kick accuracy. You're going to miss some. I have no problem with him taking the shot. If he thinks he has an opportunity, go for it.
Here's Brzezina trying to win the ball back. Falls a little short. And being wrestled to the ground there. Hutchinson just doesn't really seem to care. But here is the captain for Saskatchewan, Joshua Mallon, stepping over the free kick. Seems to be their designated set piece taker, I see. Here is Tugwell, or my apologies. Here is Amberson on the ball. And one thing I'd love to note about Amberson, having a look at his profile, one of the things that he said that inspired him was playing soccer at recess. And reading that really put a smile on my face because I couldn't relate more.
Yeah, I remember playing recess soccer at recess as a kid as well, in like grade 4 and 5, and we would play on the full nets, but of course only being like 3 feet tall at the time, and anything near the top of the goal would go in. Playing with like 5 goalkeepers at one point, just an absolute blast.
And it was always such a compliment when you were playing. Oh, wow! And the strike by James Cameron seems to easily go by McGilvery there. I was a little too busy driving down memory lane to really take down this goal. He passes his defender, and he just has a clever finish to just kind of tuck it in to that corner.
Yeah, it's just sloppy defending by Saskatchewan. Too easy that time for James Cameron, or makes it look too easy, but what a finish that time. Down went McGilvery, and he was able to chip it just with his right boot. Fantastic finish by James Cameron, getting his second goal of the game. Just an unbelievable finish, as a Coastal FC product will happily take that. It looks like Saskatchewan ready to take possession quickly. They had a couple of players down, but maybe just some equipment problems. Looking to get one back real quick. Now down by 2. They're going to have to, as you see now, really charge the BC defense.
Well, it's really sweet to see this side of James Cameron, because yesterday when we were commentating over the Yukon game, we saw his frustration a little bit whenever the ball wasn't falling to his way. So with him grabbing a brace, I'm sure he'd be a lot happier. Here's British Columbia back on the ball. I know you said Saskatchewan are the counter-attacking team, but being down by 2, do you think it's time to switch tactics?
No, you don't really switch up with what you're doing. Again, we got still 20 minutes left to play, and I've seen 2 goals in 20 minutes before. It's not that uncommon. I think Saskatchewan just has to keep on doing what they're doing. It's an unfortunate goal that happened. It was a goal that probably shouldn't happen after a really, really great play by Cameron and tough defending. But yeah, Saskatchewan has the players to keep this game tight, and British Columbia have to continue to be on the attack because Saskatchewan can turn this game around in just a couple of minutes with the speed and the creativity that they have up top. I have no doubt that Saskatchewan have what it takes to get this game back level.
Looks like the goalkeeper is having a bit of a conversation here. Seems like someone is down. That's number 5 for Saskatchewan, Eric Amberson, the recess superstar. Yeah, one thing I actually wanted to say before James Cameron silenced me was one thing that was super flattering about recess back then was being one of the first people to be selected for team captain. That was the highest honor, and you know what? I wish I could put that on my resume.
You know, I never want to be captain. I want to be the first overall pick.
What a save there by McGillivray. He keeps Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that's huge by McGillivray, excuse me. Made himself look big, gave him no room. That was Tinmouth who tried to slot it down the near corner.
Brezina puts the ball back in, but Saskatchewan's wise to it and clears.
That's a beautiful set piece by British Columbia. Brezina did a great job of cutting that towards a really dangerous area, and unfortunately he had a 50-50 shot of hitting off a red player, and it hit off Saskatchewan.
And Chen really went box to box there to try and push the needle forward for Saskatchewan, but he just misses out. Tugwell's closer to it. British Columbia now just passing the ball in midfield. Here is Gomez. He sprays the ball forward, but Saskatchewan's wise to it. Ball is won back by Saskatchewan. And here is the goal scorer, Malik Darby, on the ball. He misses out, but it is a throw-in for Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan looked to make a couple of changes. I'm really curious to see who's coming on and off. It looks like a couple of tactical substitutions, maybe changing their formation as Ambrose, who was injured beforehand, is taken off.
And it looks like Luigi Mutangolo is coming on.
Now, I was actually just about to make the comment that I really wanted to see Kononenko come on for Saskatchewan. He's had a really, really great tournament, a couple of goals for him. As he's trying to be a difference maker, he's going to take Kylo off.
It'll be interesting to see what he does in this game. Looking at his stature, you can already kind of tell he brings a different element to the forward line of Saskatchewan. So, as I was mentioning earlier for BC, when it's good to have a fresh forward going up against a little bit of tired and rugged defenders, you can say the same for Saskatchewan now. They have a new element up front. Here he is, the substitute, Kononenko on the ball. He misses out, and Anderson wins it back. Here's Tinmouth now on the ball. Sprays it forward. And there is Lieto Hutchinson fresh running onto that ball with the Ronaldo chop. You love it. He makes the pass, but oh, it just falls a bit short. Here is the substitute, Mutongolo, running with the ball. And there's the 50-50 race. And Saskatchewan beats them to it. Chen now with some space running forward. And number 4 for British Columbia, Cole Tupin, is not letting him get away easily. That was some tough body-on-body contact. Another substitution here for British Columbia this time. Number 10, Kyle Dent, is coming on. Take Eric Anderson's place. Kyle Dent, I believe, is another player who plays in BCSPL.
Yeah, he'll join a couple of his Mountain United teammates on the pitch. Kyle Dent was a starter in the game against UConn, and you mentioned Cameron frustrated. Kyle Dent was frustrated as well, as the striker duo just couldn't do anything against a really, really stingy UConn team. Let's see if Kyle Dent can make an impact in this game.
Gomez is trying to make an indent right now with his push to the box. But Mutongolo steals. Dribbles away neatly and finds a ball. And there is number 17 for Saskatchewan. Stifo chasing after that. But to no avail. Tupin now will throw it in. Big throw by Tupin. Cameron with a ball over the top, but can't find Hutchinson. Ball is rolled to Almula. But BC once again win possession. Here is Hutchinson on the wing. Mallon not letting him get away easily. He crosses it in. Dealt by Saskatchewan defenders. Easy touch there for Ty Pound. Who is now, and I can confirm, the new captain of British Columbia. As Consiglio was substituted. It looks like we have some boots flying around the pitch. We just need a second to put that back on for play to continue. Gomez is stepping over the ball. Seems like he's going to be the one taking the free kick. There is number 11 now. Jordan Lowe driving the ball forward, and there he is going to whip it in, and he whips in a ground ball, and he misses the tap-in. The tap-in was there for Lieto Hutchinson, but the overextended foot just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Hutchinson there caught ball watching a bit, looking for Lowe and Cameron both had opportunities. I think Hutchinson was ready to put his arms up to celebrate with one of his teammates, not realizing it was going to go to him. And I think if Hutchinson could get that opportunity back, he'd convert it 10 times out of 10.
And that would have been a whole different game at 4-1. 3-goal advantage with approximately 15 minutes left in the game is not a place you want to be at. But Saskatchewan live to see another day, and here's Mutongolo. He passes to number 18 of Saskatchewan. But the ball goes out for a throw-in. Ball is back to Kononenko. He's doing his best to battle, and he throws Gomez down in the process. I'm sure Gomez didn't really appreciate that, but he wins a free kick for this team.
Yeah, a bit of a shove by Kononenko, and then it was funny. He pushed the ball away, but realizing, wait, we're down 2, so let's get the ball right back.
There's Tupin on the ball. He launches it forward to find Cameron's feet, but ball just wasn't enough to keep. But here is Lieto Hutchinson. He's going to take a shot with his left foot, but just goes wide. Had the right idea there.
Yeah, again, it's not great distribution, again, by Emmett McGilvery. He handled the Cameron attack well. Cameron did really, really well to challenge McGilvery, knowing his distribution has not been at its peak in this game. And Hutchinson had another opportunity just outside the left goalpost.
It kind of seems like Saskatchewan has been a little bit lackluster in possession. And I know, like you said a fair few times, they're a counter-attacking team, but surely, that can't be the only route here. There has to be a little bit of possession in their own half. The goalkeeper
that's
chops
gonna
him
be- that's a
down, and that's
penalty.
going to be another penalty. And it is. You called it, Zach. Keeper was a little sloppy there, trying to win possession back. And brings down, I believe it was Tupin. I might have to see that replay to confirm that.
I think
Here
it was low.
It was low. You're right, Zach. Low was brought down sloppily by McGilvery.
Yeah, Dave Cameron has the opportunity to get his third. But yeah, like you were saying, the sloppy possession by Saskatchewan, I think it's more of a testament to British Columbia's pressure, relentless pressure. They've just wanted 5th place more than Saskatchewan has today.
Well, here is James Cameron stepping over. Penalty. Will he convert for the hat trick? He doesn't! He skies it over the bar, and it remains a 3-1 game. I know.
Yeah, it doesn't, obviously right now in the 3-1 scoreline, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but as somebody who's missed a penalty in a large scoreline, it still haunts you. I mean, you always want to be scoring those opportunities as practice because you never know when it'll come in handy. British Columbia were in penalties yesterday, and they fell in penalties because of one bad spot kick, and you want to convert those opportunities. Unfortunately for Cameron, but it won't haunt them yet. But who knows how Saskatchewan's going to play in the next 10 minutes? They're going to have to get some action. We've mentioned the ability for Saskatchewan to score quickly, so look for more players to go forward. Maybe they'll transition from a 4-3-3 to a 3-5-2 and get some more attacking mindset players in the game. I'm really curious to see how Saskatchewan plays the last 10 minutes. This is the last 10 minutes of their Canada games. There's nothing left to lose.
Well, this is an interesting situation because even if Saskatchewan manages to score 1, that just puts so much more pressure on British Columbia. And it looks like there was a nasty challenge there, but the referee's waving play on. But another malicious challenge by Gomez there earns him the yellow card.
Yeah, the referee's going to have to get control of the game. He's done really, really well so far, but a couple of really hard challenges by Gomez. As you see, it's a clear foul and one that didn't have to happen. Wrapping his arm around him. It's a free kick in a pretty dangerous position. This position's always really tough. You can have a left-footed taker try and bend it maybe over the wall, but some people really want just a chip in swing for a headed effort on goal. I'm really curious to see what they have.
We have the captain standing over it once again, along with Malik Darby. So we'll see what happens here. Seems like Darby is going to be the one to take. And he does, but just over the bar. The ball is played quickly by British Columbia. And there's Tupin, who blasts it forward once again. And it's a 3-on-1. And Brezina keeps this in, and he does. Let's see what he does. He's on the edge of the touchline. Crosses it in, but it's just a bit too much for number 10 of British Columbia, Kyle Dent, to deal with. The captain tried dribbling past him there in a clever maneuver, but that did result in going out of play.
Yeah, if you're Brazil, you probably wanted a little bit more. You had a 4-on-1 at one opportunity. Brezina just a little slow in getting the ball back in possession, and probably could have played a ball on the ground towards one of his trailing teammates, elected to go for a high ball looking for Cameron, and unsuccessful.
Well, here is Jackson Kovic coming on as a substitute. He'll be replacing Joshua Mallon.
Well, I mean, Saskatchewan needs goals, and Kovic is a really great substitution. He scores goals at the high school level, at futsal levels. A great headed effort, though.
There's another goal at the Canada Games level there, Zach. That was a brilliant take. I don't think that was a really clever little pass there by James Cameron to set that up, and Brezina gets his head to it. And
yeah,
now
that's a really nice goal by Brezina, the Simon Fraser University commit. Just he made up for his, in my opinion, mistake of not distributing the ball quicker on that far side. A beautiful headed effort at goal, and And some would say those goals are nicer than a long-range finish. Those diving headers, a beautiful finish by Brezina.
There's a lot of tenacity to get to those because sometimes it can go really wrong. So credit to Brezina for a clever finish. 4-1. Saskatchewan need to do something for any chance to pull something back because this is a different game now. There's only a few minutes left and they're down by 3. Great pass out to the wing there. British Columbia, but Saskatchewan steals. Kononenko tries to body the defender, but fails in his attempt. But a free kick is won by Saskatchewan. It is a little far back, but it finds the right person in the box. Who knows? And we are seeing another substitution. James Cameron, the man who scored the brace, is coming off. And in to take his place is Deschamps Jelinas Cato. Or my apologies, Remy Barbeau. Some scrapping going on in that wing there. Saskatchewan doing their best to win the ball, but they fail. Tupin was trying to get that ball, but he was beat just to it by Logan Johnston. Saskatchewan won the ball back again, and Darby's fouled there, or at least he claims to be, but the referee waves the play on. Ball's cleared by British Columbia. Back in Saskatchewan's possession as they're fouled once again. British Columbia not afraid to be aggressive and not afraid to bully players to the ground. Here is Mutongolo on the ball. He passes it backwards. Again, another cutout pass. The British Columbia players are trying to claim the throw-in, but referee waves it to Saskatchewan. Quick little dink there by number 15, Jackson Kovic, but to no luck. Game is now becoming a little bit whack-a-mole in terms of just getting that ball forward. To no avail, though. It's a great touch. And a block by Mukongelo. He'll gladly take that hit for his team. Try to move the ball forward, but the keeper collects. Gomez tries to bring the ball forward, and it's out for a throw-in. Any players you'd like to highlight for British Columbia, Zach?
Well, I mean, it's been a really great effort by James Cameron after he had a frustrating day at the office yesterday. His too. But just it's been an all-around really, really great effort. I mean, Ty Pound and Tugwell being at the back have done a really great job. They let in the early first minute goal, and after that, it's been really, really sound. So I think having those two center backs, those corner pieces, has just given all of British Columbia a sense of relief, knowing that you have those back. That's why you can have so many players attacking.
So here is Hutchinson attacking right now. And there is number 10 for British Columbia, Kyle Dent, scoring the goal, making it 5-1. I did quickly want to report a substitution as Jordan Lowe came out for Callum Shillington, but that goal came first. What a finish by Kyle Dent, and what a move by British Columbia.
Yeah, well, it all started with Lieto Hutchinson making a couple of really, really nice moves and just charging towards that goal line. I've talked about it time and time again. Get towards that goal line as close as you can and cut it across, and that's exactly what Hutchinson did, and it's an easy finish in the end by Kyle Dent. He didn't have to do much, just direct it towards goal, and he got his first of this game.
British Columbia putting on display as to why they could have potentially been a bronze medal winning team. They were just a little unlucky yesterday as it lost to the penalty shootout to Quebec, with Judd Michel's heroics for display once again.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. If you're not familiar, British Columbia and Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador in the same group. Newfoundland and Labrador lost to both BC and Quebec 8-0, and in the game, they tied 1-1 against Quebec. So they had every single tiebreaker was knocked off. So it ended up being in penalty kicks, and one missed penalty is all it took for Quebec to take it. So British Columbia think that they deserve to be in the medals, but it's always nice to finish a tournament with a win. And that's what they're going to do today after a convincing victory here over Saskatchewan.
Here was Shillington over the ball to whip it in. A little bit of a higher effort, but a questionable touch there. Wanted to be taken by Remy Barbeau of British Columbia. It's no avail. It's another corner. Here's Shillington once again.
Just 1 minute of added time in this game. There are times when maybe if it was a tie game, if it was a close game, it could have been longer. But at this rate, just the players want to get off the field.
Yeah, I imagine Saskatchewan are already waiting for that final whistle.
Yeah, of course, this is the last game for both of these teams. It's their fourth game. They've been in the sun all week long. It's a tough one as we see the last attack of this game.
So here's Kononenko trying something, but the defenders beat him to it. And that'll be the game. A convincing result by British Columbia, stomping Saskatchewan down 5-1. It was a great start, probably the best you could ask for from Saskatchewan, with a goal from Malik Darby, but heroics from my apologies, heroics from James Cameron, Dent, and to be honest, part of me kind of forgets who scored the other goals, is enough for them to convincingly beat Saskatchewan and take 5th place.
Yeah, just a really all-around great effort by British Columbia. Even after that first goal by Saskatchewan, they got that goal right back. It was a really great effort by BC, deservingly so. The 5th place winners here in this game, and going to be heading home with a win, which is, as I mentioned, always what you want to do. Saskatchewan, once they got that penalty scored against them by Cameron, they never really had the chances. Like I mentioned when he asked me who were the stars of the game were, I really just enjoyed the whole back line of British Columbia. They held down the fort and allowed their attacking players to get forward, and a lot of really great attacking moves by British Columbia allowed them to come out as a convincing winner.